ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Shyzalosophy 101. Here's your host, Shyzabox. Oh, is the show starting? Oh, it must be. Oh, that's our introduction. We know what we're called. Get out of here. And the horse you rode in on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, nuns and all. That's right, be priests, bishops, cardinals, rabbis, theologians, I don't know, philosophers, people, whoever, welcome. We have got a show for you today. That's right, you might be saying, you already had a show today. Yeah, but we had a show. We didn't necessarily cover everything there is to cover. Yeah, you did. Fair enough. Sure we did. But something that we didn't cover was the one and only aspect and component of a SIP 7. That's right. You might be saying to yourself, why would you even try and equate SIP 7 to a weekend entertainment philosophical endeavor? Eh? And fair question. Eh? And I guess if someone were to posit that to us, the only reason we could possibly fathom to say is that, you're going to have at least sip 7 cups of coffee, okay? Before you come around to the realization that maybe you only needed just 4. Maybe you just needed 5. Maybe you needed a variety of iterations, okay? Maybe you needed to switch to tea. All right, there's a couple philosophical ways you can look at how you choose to pursue your sipages on a regular basis, okay? Maybe you want to, sit back, enjoy a Saturday morning, have sip 7 cups of coffee, okay? And just think to yourself, man, I worked hard this week, or I accomplished so much, or I could have done better, okay? All of these are applicable and can apply once they do, all right? It's up to you to, think for yourself as far as what is my sipageable percentage of how much I sipped this week from the pool of sipability, okay? And sure, it all sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo and philosophical jargon, because, well, in essence, that's what it is. But once you philosophize, as much as we do, or as much as we try to, or think we do, we realize that it's not in the amount of sipages that you necessarily take. It's the quality of those sips, okay, that stand the test of time. All right, that allow one to continue to sip on the continual cup of life. Okay? That's right. You didn't think we'd find a way to kind of bridge that thought together. And believe you me, arguably, we might not have. But we did, though. It sounded all right to us, so we'll count it. That works. That's right. Celebrate Internet, because we decided to, yes, undertake that additional 7th cup. All right? And we thought to ourselves, we were like, man, maybe we should just knock off. Maybe we should stop projecting that of which calls us to continue to create, continue to do, as everyone can have their own, means and manners of, pursuing their interests, hobbies, goals, dreams, endeavors. Okay? We ourselves are prone to the human nature component and aspect as well. Okay? We're not anything any more special than you. Okay? Fantastic. You might be celebrating that. Okay? Just your regular run of the mill. Right? But there is one thing that sets us apart. Right? There's no way around it. All right? It's embedded on the IPFS site. Okay? It's front and center right when you load it up. There is no way around it. The only difference between you and ourselves, okay, Internet? That's right, we talk right to you. The only difference between us, we called Daryl Dixon dibs on being best of the worst Internet celebrities there are. You laugh, Internet. We called it. Daryl Dixon dibs. Okay? The show's not great. We know this. Can only get better. When we take that 11 cents we made in our literary sales last month, that wasn't a joke, Internet. You're ruthless. We know you are. When we take that big old 11 cents that we made last month and the readership of people reading Pickled Punk Philosophy or Transmutating God, our poetry book, every good philosopher needs a poetry book, right? We're taking that whole 11 cents. Again, not a joke, Internet. We're forthcoming with how much we make in our literary sales. You're welcome. That's sad. Hey! Keep the jokes to yourself, Mom. You're going to chase off our One's-a fan. We're reinvesting that 11 cents into the channel. That's right. That's right. You are going to see it come back full circle. You might be saying like, oh man, what are you going to do with all that money? I don't know, Internet. What are we going to do with all that 11 cents? How are we going to make the show better? Get a better microphone and camera. Damn it, Mom. You want us to move out of the basement or not? Get a roof. You guys are jerks. Okay? We are reinvesting that 11 cents by... All right, so we don't got a plan yet for it, okay? We don't got a plan yet, but we made 11 cents last month. There's a chance we might make 12 cents this month, okay? Don't knock our goals. That's fine, Internet, that's fine. The thing about it is, though, is that being an independent researcher, being a self-published author, okay, or in our case, a paid author, okay? 11 cents is 11 cents. We got paid. Yeah, we're a paid author. Arguably, I mean, can't debate it. I mean, not a well-paid author. But, who is? Someone who makes money. If you go to the IPFS site, there's more offerings as an independent researcher, as a self-published, no paid author, arguably, sure. If you go to the IPFS site, we got the games on there, okay? That's right, celebrate, Internet. Good fun. There's working games. They're free. You don't need to pay anything. You don't need to wait through any ads or anything like that. Now, deductively, there is a correlation in two of the games to actual working titles that, not even working titles, physical titles that our buddy has. The game Capybara Creek is on the IPFS site, right? It's a game based on our buddy's book. He was like, hey, I want to make a game for my nieces and nephews to play off of, the book we wrote or whatever. Can we do it? We're like, yeah, we'll do that for you. It'll be awesome. It's free on there. We said it'd be awesome. The game kind of sucks. No, it's all right. You got to get to the third act. It's a backy forthy. Shows you like you go through the different environments. It's really fun. It's free. You go to the IPFS site. It's on there. It's not bogged down with ads or anything like that. All right. The games are on there. You don't need to entertain the literary endeavors. All right. The bread and butter of our, backbone to the show. Okay. Backbone can be 11 cents. Backbone can be, hopefully next month, 12 cents. All right? The point is that when you have the structure and the means and the capacity, okay, that goes around the abilities to, not only deal with and contend with what daily life throws at you, okay, problem-wise, but you can go through and inherently you can pivot and adjust, all right, to the new endeavors and situations that present themselves to you, all right, on a regular basis, okay? If you don't enjoy following your own, hopes and dreams, you should follow ours and go play some of our games that we made. That's right. It'll be fun. Or it won't. It doesn't matter. Point is that they're there. You can play them. And you don't got to pay for anything. Because it's all free. That's right. Celebrate it, Internet. Nothing wrong with having a working station, okay, with which you can share your creations with whoever wants to, partake in them. Now, always keep in mind, everything here is philosophical entertainment, okay? Everyone must entertain their own choices and decisions on that of their own accord. Obviously, everything is used at your own risk, that, the other. Okay? When you're working in the wild, wild west, okay, of Web3 entertainment and decentralized, disseminations and things of that nature, all right? When you're executing cryptographically executable witnesses and adding digital fingerprints and things of that nature to, the ways of moving forward, okay, amongst your own creations and stuff like that, all right, into ongoings into the future sphere and everything. There are components and everything like that are inherently just fun to go back to, fun to address, fun to look into, and fun to take on with the community themselves. That's right. You might be saying to yourself, like, what can we take on together? We can take on all sorts of stuff together. All right? One of the things that we would love to start entertaining the idea of, all right, if we were to sit back and sip 7 cups of coffee, okay? One thing that we would love to go and kind of follow up through on and things of that nature would be to find the best way, which we think we already deductively know how. We'll wait on that, big, random, fatty, tricked out Tesla sign-on truck bonus that rolls up with a briefcase full of cash from trillionaire Elon Musk. Trillionaire. Like, that's a lot of money. Can't even carry that in your wallet. I'll bet it's digital money. Oh, take that, rich Elon Musk. We joke. He's almost our future boss. One day, maybe. So, that's why we joke around with him like that, because, we just can. Yeah, don't worry about it. Someone's got to put daddy in his place. That's mama. That's us. Hey. When we start contemplating, all right, how to go about moving into doing more endeavors and things of that nature, we want to create more ways now to deal with the plethora of expanded data storage as this is. Okay? We think we know how to, in essence, go about that. But that's one of those things that, do we work hand in hand with the community as we have in creating games and making, different themes on the LimeWire inspired music player or anything on the site? Or do we go about that ourselves? And do we start keeping notebooks now privatized because we're not under an NDA, but we want to start doing some cool stuff, but you're going to start getting into some, kind of in one way, shape, or form or certain degree, some very proprietary informations and data that, yes, we're all about sharing source code and everything like that, and we do. Okay, we got open notebooks. You can check our math. The IPFS site, completely open. Go check it out. The games, the demos, the scientific tools, they're all on there. The swarm mesh demo, it exists. It's on there. Okay? All of these things, all of these components, all of these tools that we have created, the LimeWire inspired music player, down to the fun, the games, okay? All of these things on there, in their form, they only occupy the space that they do until, someone who's not under an NDA, who's not working for a big company or whatever, gets that little tricked out Tesla truck sign-on bonus coming rolling up in front of them with that briefcase full of cash. Okay, we want to make as much beneficial stuff, all right, even under those circumstances and situations, all right, where it's not this dude's crazy, this dude's not gonna, want to make anything with people. No, we want to make stuff with people. That's the point. We want to make more with everyone. We wish that, there was more participatory, elements and stuff on people wanting to share, all right, stuff and present it forward. Okay? We got everything open source right now, all right? We keep it open with the exception of a couple things that are internally open. Okay? They're free range, but there's a level of dissemination with which to utilize stuff. It doesn't matter. Point being is that with the stuff that is there, that is already in existence now, you're at the point where we're having fun. That's what we love doing, but we're ready to start getting to some more serious work, okay? As far as housed infrastructure and stuff that can do stuff. Now, we can go the route of begging and pleading for, independent researcher funds and things of that nature, on the YouTube, or hell, we could even do a, one of the, the raise of the monies on the, kick of the starter, all right? We don't want to go that route. We would rather have an apparatus like the trillionaire of the Elon of the Musk, or the Jeff Bezos not trillionaire, or whoever, all right? A housed infrastructure that has good, well-aligned interests, all right, with which we could make and create all sorts of stuff. But in the meantime, because no such infrastructure exists for us as an independent researcher, as a, independently self-published author, all right, that's not a good one. Hey! Doesn't matter. One nonetheless. We'll take it. Okay? We accept our allotment. Okay? And we already called Daryl Dixon dibs on being the best of the worst. That's right. So you got to accept that, Internet, because it's a rule. Anyone who's seen Walking Dead knows. That's right. I don't know. As we sit back, if, like we said, keeping notebooks completely open source, all right, is necessarily the way to go. Because eventually, those entities that are capable of generating, these giant, platforms and things of that nature, all right, they're going to take it, they're going to run with it. They're probably going to try and implement strategies to it that inherently go back to square one on where things sit now with the oversaturation of what's in existence, all right? There are well over one way too many of one way to everything, all right? Arguably, there's one way too many of even one way too of, parameters and capacities surrounding that of us and what we do, right? Now, it's almost like talking about the, necessity of one's own existence, okay? Now, again, this is all for philosophical entertainment and whatnot, all for your own mental endeavors to go upon there with which you choose to do, obviously. Nah, it's all for good fun. As we sip 7 cups of coffee, you think of all of these different parameters, okay? That's around what is one's being, okay? Does one buckle down, right, and do the continued track, okay, that's been proven to work in many regards, in many ways, shapes, and forms, okay, and sit down in our shoes, okay, maybe update a good little resume, okay, and apply to a company like XAI or something like that, okay? Now, that might do okay for our personal, endeavors. But how is us, good old philosopher Shyzabox, updating our little resume and stuff like that to just benefit ourselves, gonna help to create stuff with the community, right? It's not gonna happen. Not in that capacity, not in that degree. Shyzabox can kind of shelve that way. Now, not that everyone wants to put baby in a corner or anything. Shyzabox don't like to be in the corner all too often, okay? So, we like to turn around and dance and really push the limits and, maybe even contemplate how corners can be cut in a variety of degrees and ways and shapes and forms. When you start thinking metaphysics and you start thinking metaphysical, then it is extremely, reasonable to think that, these housed domains that, people put themselves within, or humanity puts themselves in, this, that, the other, are just safeguarded to such a degree that you can't get yourself out of the corner. And whilst I am the OG Starwalker. Well, OG Starwalker, glad that you were able to join us. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Well, that's a very good question. OG Starwalker. Lil Goob. We can call you Lil Goob, right? Nah, of course we can. So, LG, okay? Is mayonnaise an instrument? That's the question. Which, believe you me, is way better than that other crap we were talking about. Thanks for chiming in the chat. You really saved the stream. We thought we were going to have to leave early today, but now we don't have to. That's right. So, LG, you asked if mayonnaise was an instrument. Well, it absolutely is. Maybe you're familiar with a little show called South Park. Okay? You have. There's a whole episode, all right, about how you can use mayonnaise. Okay? Case in point. You get a jar. Bad example. We don't got one. But you get a jar of mayonnaise. And, believe you me, it's an instrument. But you know what? LG. We can call you LG.
You've got mail.
Of course we can. Lil Goob. So, Lil Goob.
You've got mail.
I love your idea so much that, believe it or not, Lil Goob, we want to make a musical instrument of mayonnaise and put it on the IPFS. That's right. Lil Goob. We can call you Lil Goob, right? Yeah, of course we can. LG. LG, we want to make a musical instrument of mayonnaise because that is hilarious. So, I think that's very doable. We can add it to the third audio slot right under the digital kalimba. Now, believe you me, Lil Goob, many people didn't think that they wanted a digital mayonnaise player. But, believe you me, I think more people are going to want that than you realize. So, we thank you for single-handedly contributing to that of what we can create now together, all right? When you have one who, presumably, such as yourself, we don't know, we can't speak for you, obviously, you'll have to chime back in the chat. We can't speak for yourself, but, you know, if you have the luxury of being an aficionado of a musical instrument, and there's no working digital version thereof for you to commence in the playing thereof, it breaks our heart. That's right. That's right, Internet. It breaks our heart. But because of that, Lil Goob, we can call you Lil Goob, right? Nah, of course we can. LG. Point is that though our heart's broken, we can get over it pretty fast because we think we can help you out, okay? That's right. Something to celebrate. We're going to make that digital mayonnaise player. Tub of mayonnaise. You tap the screen and the hand goes in. Yeah, that'll be great. All right, give us a bit on that, Lil Goob, okay? That's going to take us a minute. But we'll add it to the third audio section. Love it. Thanks for the ideas. Keep them coming. All right, so as we have now segued into whatever we were, all right, originally, right before that, though, we were talking about some very elements of being under different ways, shapes, and forms, all right? But structurally, now we have pivoted and presumably must give the people what they want. So, with the request thereof, mayonnaise being an instrument, we must venture to say that in the digital form, fashion, and merging of the lithos and the logos, okay, the mental and the physical, okay, thought and reality, we're going to strive to make that a possibility, not only for us, okay, but for mayonnaise players that have been around since the, from what we can deduce, inception of mayonnaise playing time, all right? Now, you might be saying to yourself, like, why would you go to such lengths to help out the mayonnaise players? Why would you want to make the digital instrument for, you know, anyone who likes playing mayonnaise, okay? No. Because we want to not only make the stuff that we want, like the digital kalimba that's up on the IPFS now. That's right. But when people chime in and say, hey, we love playing mayonnaise, then by golly, now we want to make a digital mayonnaise player. And by golly, we're going to attempt and try to do our best to do such. And believe you me, we think it's possible. So, with that being said, all right, with us now going through the strenuous motions, all right, of competing the uphill current of what is, all right, the midday, top of the afternoon, busiest part of activity, all right, as we venture to fathom what is the next endeavors, now we can tell you this. We look forward one. We look forward all to bringing you digital mayonnaise. That's right. It'll be terrific. It'll be awesome. Or it'll be mediocre and okay. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's going to be fantastic. Mostly. Probably. It's going to be rad. We'll work on that. We'll get that up and running. We'll update you as soon as it is. But with that being the case, if you want to get out of here before us now, now's your chance. Because, let's be honest, you have sip 7 cups of coffee, and you run out of swill. We don't want your subscription. We want your money. Downvote the shit out of this. Go to Cashapp and give us a buck. Get off our lawn.